Hello guys and welcome back to the channel. So today is the day when Palantir reported earnings and we have to address the elephant in the room. I was crazy wrong about what happened. I had some ideas and I know I made videos about that. I think the stock is going to pop between 10 to 20%. Clearly I was wrong. I was right about the popping. I was just wrong about the direction. So I want to talk about why I was wrong, what happened on the earnings call, and what this means for the stock price. So let's get into this video. As always, if you like this, please make sure you hit the subscribe button. And if you want to go and get some exclusive in the making content and get direct access to me, you can check out the Patreon link in the description box below. You can support this channel for $5 a month, and I'm very happy if you do that. So why don't you go ahead and check it out. So Palantir earnings, what the F happened? So when I first listened to the earnings call, I was actually in a meeting, so I couldn't listen to the call live, but I was checking the stock price on my telephone, and then I saw minus 2%, and I thought, okay, maybe that's the market. And then I saw minus 8%, and I was like, what the F? What did they report, you know? And then when I was in the meeting, so I was starting looking at the phone, and I was like, but I don't see anything that is bad. And then when I was driving home, I put on the conference call. I was listening to the conference call, and then I was like, I don't hear anything that is bad. And then I came home and I could sit down and, calmly go through the numbers. And then I saw it. And it is what it is. I'll be transparent. You know that I'm a huge Palantir bull, but in this video, I'm going to say it as it is. So basically, if I just look at face value of this earnings report, it wasn't that bad. So the revenue grew 22%. This is, I think, a small beat on the expectations of what they put out. 22% growth. The US revenue grew by 31%. So here, this is a slight slowdown compared to how the US revenue was before. Commercial revenue grew 53% year over year, US commercial revenue. So the problem is that US revenue grew something like over 100% last year. So this is kind of a red flag. I mean, if you just look at the absolute numbers, it's still stellar growth, but we were expecting this to be like in the 100% range. Then the government business surpassed 1 billion, blah, blah, whatever. Customer account increased. So this is amazing. Customer account, this is really what I want to see. Total contract value up. This is, very good. So some things are good, some things are bad. And, then I was really reading the numbers, looking through, and everything was good. And then I came to the bad part. And let me open that bad part for you guys so you can see it with me. Oh, no, I just missed it. So here it is, guys. So if you look at the commercial revenue, you can see 37%, 47%, 54%. This is increasing growth. Very good to see. And then you see in Q2, 46%. I would give a total pass on this, and then 17%. So this means that the commercial growth is not really happening. And then if you basically look at the numbers when they break it down, US is still growing. So that means that they're having a very rough time internationally. And then this is US commercial. So let's say that we know that they're having a rough time internationally. And then you look at this. 103, 132, 136, 120, 53%. So that is a major, major slowdown. So you know that Palantir's valuation is in part built on its growth. And obviously when the growth disappears from the equation, you have to reevaluate what you're willing to pay for the company. Then you have the government section, 34, 26, 16, 13, and 26. So this is good news because government is re-accelerating. However, what would be really nice to see as investors is the commercial continuing to accelerate and the government re-accelerating. I was basically expecting the government to re-accelerate, so I was at least right about one thing, but I'm really surprised that the commercial is really, really, really slowing down. So now it suddenly makes sense why they all of a sudden announced the fund recon out of nowhere, because they also themselves realize that they have to do something about this if they don't want to completely mess up Q4. And suddenly I start to understand why they're changing their marketing efforts, which was really a bullish sign when we didn't have this report, but now, you know, you can put the picture together. So obviously the stock price is very heavily punished. And to be honest, again, I told you that I would say, as I see the thing, this is justified because they didn't really, in the earnings call, they didn't reiterate the growth. They didn't really say that this is very temporary. What they said is that for a few years, it's going to be tough in Europe and they're going to be basically focusing on the US, and that they see a re-acceleration in government. So to be honest, the people who are selling today because, you know, they bought into a growth company and they want to see growth numbers and they're selling today, I actually don't blame them. And to tell you the honest truth, today, the thought of selling Palantir also crossed my mind. And I was looking at, okay, why am I holding the stock? And I came to the fact that I also own a real estate company. I know that you can have bad quarters and you can have a series of bad quarters. And I have seen in my own company how fast, you know, things can turn around and go from an almost bankruptcy into like, oh my God, we got in all these contracts and, you know, we're never going to run out of money, only to 6 months later, like, oh my God, we need investors again. So I really understand how situations can change. And I came to the fact that I believe in management. I believe in the product. I believe that there's something here. And yes, they are definitely having a hard time. And they might be having a hard time for a few quarters on. But I do believe that this is, you know, going to change. But I also have to be honest with myself that this is based on hopium. This is based on not a scientific, not a model. I'm just looking at Carp and I get good vibes from him. I look at, you know, the customers on Foundry.com. I look at the Palantir community and, you know, the people that are involved with this. And I have this gut feeling that this is going to be good one day. But at this point, that is all this is. And I have to be 100% transparent about it. So if you want to sell because of this, I understand you. I have no hard feeling. This was really not a good report and not what I was expecting. And it is what it is. But I am not selling. I give them a pass for this. Every company is having a hardship and, you know, everybody is affected in different ways. And I hope that they're past 35% CAGR in the government that they keep mentioning, that they can have a few flat quarters and then it eventually starts coming back. I hope and believe that this is going to happen. And I hope and believe that they're going to debug the commercial and they're going to come back and kick some butt in the commercial. But I have to be very transparent with myself and with you guys that this is belief at this point, and I'm willing to take this risk. And that's why the drop in the stock price, because people lose their faith and then they want to sell. And I understand. So let me know in the comments what you think. Let me know if you're selling or buying more. Let me know if I jumped the gun or if I missed anything. I really want to know your opinion. And if you watched this far, thank you so much. Please make sure you subscribe, check out the Patreon, and I'll see you in the next video. Ciao, ciao.